Hello, my no more people pleasing family. How y'all doing today? I am glad to speak with you all today. And I've got some exciting things to talk about that I think are going to help you with some of the concerns that you may be experiencing. Um, we're going to have to run through them though, because I've got a client to see. Um, but what I want to do, what I've been noticing, you all, is that a lot of times in these people pleasing scenarios that we experience, we have the tendency, and I'm surprised, I don't think I've talked a whole lot about this. We have the tendency to self-sabotage. What is self-sabotage? That means that, wow, ooh, we got to do this fast. Is that what happens is that many times, even before a relationship can develop very firmly, we find ourselves in positions to where we do things to remove that relationship. Is just a straight up way to say it. And a lot of times it's unconscious, and I'm processing. I just processed this with a client that we are doing things to sabotage the relationship. And this happens so much because deep down inside we don't feel worthy of being in that relationship situation. And so it's a way, in a sense, to control the situation to where instead of you leaving me, I can beat you to the punch. And it's caught up with, guess where it comes from? It's caught up in most cases through trauma, because we're reliving in our minds a situation in our minds in our past to where this occurred in a like situation, in an intimate relationship type of situation. Someone abandoned us. Someone did something that disrupted our belief about our worth and our ability to stay in relationships and retain them. And so many times when things get close, when things start to really look good, and you're with that person that it just seems like that person was out of your league, or someone is just too good to be true, not in a way that they're doing things above and beyond that's just ridiculous and grandiose, but it's just that I've never had anyone in my life like this. I've never had a romantic relationship like this. I've never had a friendship like this where it's an exchange. It's always me doing the doing. Okay. And so what we will do is little small things. And I know someone who has a built-in deterrent that no matter what, they are going to do something to sabotage closeness and intimacy in a relationship. As soon as you start to get close, something they will do will happen, and I don't even think that they're fully aware of it. So some of us have built-in systems for deterring intimacy, and woo, it's a major thing. So, this talk was influenced by like Alaya, I can't say her name, Alaya Cooks Campbell, and she had a article that I found very interesting, and we're going to talk about some of the steps that I use and something that she mentioned to give you action steps to avoid this happening in your life. Okay, so let's get to it, because we got to do this one fast, right? So what is happening when I'm sabotaging? One of the number one things that we want to do is to be able to identify, number one, the goal, and number two, the behavior. Number one, the goal, and number two, the behavior. And today we're gonna use an example of, like, okay, the goal is that I want to have healthy relationships. This is long, where I no longer people please. Is that a good goal? I want to have uh healthy relationships where I no longer people please, right? And so that's the goal. So you, number one, you have to identify the goal. And so if you're experiencing something that you need change in, that you've been having a self-sabotaging or self-sabotaging situations in your relationships, and this is ongoing, usually this is not something that has just started, right? And so if you find yourself, what I want you to do is write this out. I want to achieve blank, which is the goal. All right. But I keep doing blank, which is the behavior. Okay. So in this situation, I want to achieve, we're filling in the blank, healthy relationships where I no longer people please. Okay. But, so here's the but, What are the behaviors that I am doing to prevent this success? And now we're getting to the behaviors. What are some of the behaviors that you can identify that you are doing right now that's causing relationships that you have been in to not get close, or to not end up being the relationships that you long for, to cause you to settle in relationships that you know that you shouldn't be in, right? What is it that you're doing? I'm going to name some things that you're doing. Can I? All right. So, all right. How about I put myself last? Write that down. That's the behavior. And so you can work through all these. We're setting up some goals for you. I put myself last. How about I just choose terrible relationship partners? And a lot of times this is based on my loneliness. I know that's a hard thing to say or identify. But many times it's because we're lonely or scared. We're creating fear-based relationships. We're creating relationships based on fear of not being able to be supported in an intimate relationship with people who are going to treat us in the way that we know we deserve, or that we would like, because sometimes we don't even know that we deserve this because it's we're just so used to it. Okay, so we gotta hurry up. All right, so here's another one: denying my gut instinct. Again, we're talking about the behavior that is preventing you from get. Oh, I love this. That's preventing you from getting to the goal. What's our goal? Having healthy relationships where I can know where I no longer people please. I'm free, just free to be who I want to be. I don't have to do. We're going to talk about that. Just overthinking. Do we have some overthinkers that we're in relationships and we can't even we can't even get off the phone without overthinking how we ended the conversation, and the and thinking overthinking the possibilities of what the person might be thinking about what we said, and if we said that right, or should we call them back? How do I know this? Because I used to have a little bit of these tendencies. Um, Believe it or not. All right, that's how I know. Not only am I the clinician, but I'm a client. I'm a former client, right? So I know. I don't know if I'm going back, but some of y'all around my age, so y'all remember the dude with the ball was getting treatment for his bald head, and he was like, bam, showed the photo that he was actually a client. But he was able to get the win. The goal for him was, I want to have some hair on my head. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm digressing. I gotta hurry up. So we want to try to improve the behavior that's getting in the way, is that I try to prove my worth by doing. In other words, I'm always doing stuff to try to prove. And here's the last one: I don't see myself as being worthy, and that's pretty much the same. I should have scrapped that one. So here are 6 steps to stop this self-sabotaging behavior. All right, get your pen out. All right, for number one, I want to be able to identify the problem. Okay. I want to be able to identify the problem. And we have done that. Okay. We've identified the problem. So we start by recognizing the specific behaviors or thought patterns behind the behaviors. Before I act, I'm thinking wrong. What are the thought patterns that are causing you, the belief systems that are causing you to make these decisions that you end up regretting and getting yourself in bad situations? Okay. So then secondly, once we've identified the problem, we just want to write it down. Can we write it down? Write down the problem that brings clarity and help make and this helps to make the issue tangible. Now we're putting it in our hands to where it's like, okay, we're going to work with this. We're not just thinking. And I want you many times to start journaling or making a list of situations where you self-sabotage, and reveal the patterns and the triggers. This is good stuff. Put this on paper, and putting it on paper is the first step to take control. All right. This is number 3. Acknowledge the need to change. I need to be able to acknowledge the need to change, because if I'm not going to sit down and settle in the fact that I need to make the change, then nothing is going to happen. Sometimes our pride gets in the way of us acknowledging the need to change. It gets in the way, and then we're not accountable. So then we don't see the need to change. And you know what we want to do to solve our problems? We want to focus on everybody else's problems because we just think we're the worst person in the world sometimes, and we're afraid of our own problems. But the problems, sometimes pointing to the problems, it will all the time pointing to the problems, working through it gives you power. And you start being confident and okay with imperfection. All right. That's another one I should have been put on here. Perfectionism. Okay. All right. Getting in the way of things. Acknowledge the need to change. We want to develop a plan. So we want to create a step-by-step plan to address the problem. What actions or new habits can you develop to replace the self-sabotaging behaviors that you're participating in? What can you put together? Not somebody else. What can you do? And this a lot of times might include putting together bite-size little pieces, bite-sized goals, bite-sized actions to bring about resolutions for these problems. Okay, so we want to create step plan. We want to want our actions and our okay, I'm losing my place. uh okay, so I think I got mixed up, y'all. I'm up here rushing. We want to acknowledge the need for change, understand the self-side. Okay. Um, we want to acknowledge the need to change, accept these behaviors are negatively impacting you. Okay. So we want to do that. And we want to understand that the self-sabotaging behaviors often stem from a fear or from past conditions. And I talked about that in the beginning. This is why we're doing it, because we have situations that we have been dealing with that that make us fearful that these types of things are going to reoccur. And now I'm back to develop a plan. We want to create a step-by-step plan. What actions can you take or develop to replace the self-sabotaging behaviors? Um, and this is the part where I got mixed up at. We want to set bite-sized, achievable goals. We don't need to do anything big or grandiose. We just want to do something small that is going to help us to be able to move forward in this process. So setting small goals, achievable goals, things that we feel that we can readily accomplish, and we want to create new routines to support what we're doing. And then lastly, number 5, we want to take action. And so we want to implement the plan. We don't want to just talk about the plan. We want to put the plan in place. We don't want to wait for that perfect moment. A lot of times we do that. We're waiting for the perfect moment to take steps, and so then we're having too much too much stinking thinking. So we're just thinking too much, okay, and it's causing us not to move forward in the way that we know that we need to, right? And so then we want to also be consistent. Once we start moving forward, we want to maintain a consistency. We want to make sure that we're not putting this on the back burner once we start accomplishing. And that's something that we do too with self-sabotage. Once we start seeing things working for us, we have the tendency to just stop doing it. I was just looking at something with Tyler Perry, and he was saying when he started making money, I think he had made like 700,000, and he was under the mentality that I don't deserve this. So in just a short period of time, he would spend up all of his money by giving it away to people, and just just giving money away because he didn't feel that he deserved it. And he was self-sabotaging his money and his career. He said he let that go. I need to find that clip. Okay. And so we got to make that change. And then we've got to get some accountability, y'all. Some of y'all need to holler at me. How one day I'm going to introduce some of our other coaches. But share your plan with someone else that you trust, like a friend. Share it with a therapist. Share your plan with a coach. Okay. Someone who is going to provide motivation for you to stick with that plan, who is going to hold you accountable, who is going to support you and encourage you. Someone who feels safe. I got to end it. I hope this is helpful. This is some strong information right now. I hope you put it to use. If you take your time, be intentional, pull somebody in there with you that you can trust. This can truly make a difference. And so we can stop the self-sabotaging relationships and build that intimacy for long lasting relationships. Y'all take care and have a blessed weekend. All right. Bye-bye.